That's interesting. You know, I lived in Dallas for a while, and there was a park where there was a lot of that going on, too. And I didn't know that's how you started. That's interesting. So were you nervous at all the first time you started doing this, or it was just the issue was so strong you didn't want your kids exposed to that? And
it had been going on for years and years, and I have 12 brothers and sisters. My youngest brother ran cross country, and one night was chased through that park. He would go, running. You know how it is when you do cross country. You find a route and you find several routes, and one of his routes took him through that park. And one night it was getting to be kind of dark, and some guy chased him out of that park, and he came home. I mean, in a distress. And but we had heard off and on all through the years in school. There'd be a newspaper article about this or that, or some guy that'd been caught in there, or some men that was caught in a sting operation. And when Reagan came to town to see Alf Landon lives just within, less than a mile of that location where this activity goes on. And so the Secret Service came into town, and they had a bunch of talk about how they cleaned that all out. There wasn't anybody in there doing this homosexual activity during that period. You know how they have their advance team comes. And,
right.
And so there wasn't any secret about this. Everyone knew about this. But when it became a matter of that one of the youngsters was approached by a guy, then that was the last straw. And my dad wrote a letter to the mayor, who used to be the park commissioner, and it was a very colorful letter, no question about it. The mayor wrote him an appropriate letter back, and the city council passed a law about having sex in the park, but then that was the end of it. The police didn't enforce the law, and we started going to council meetings every week, and this went on for 2 years until they got tired of us coming. And then one night, the mayor, in a fit of frustration, when my dad said, "You sit around like last year's Christmas trees," he said, "That's it. You're calling us names." I guess dead tree, or no metaphors in this city council. And so he had the police chief escort him out. And that was when we said, okay, we'll just see if we can communicate to the citizens. Certainly the city doesn't think this is a good idea, but all hell broke loose. And they started coming at us with all manner of words. And after a few weeks of that, we said, you know what? We are a church, and the Bible is not silent about this issue in any way. And in fact, all of the discussion about it is one way. It's not good. This is an abomination. If you're going to put us to that discussion, well, then let's have that discussion. And I remember in the third month, my youngest brother pulling together these various scriptures, and we're having this conversation. He comes forth. All week he was off on vacation. He painted this big sign. He comes out, and by now we've got 3 of the 4 corners are every weekend now are filled with counter protesters, and it just got bigger and bigger all